Yo, what is up, guys? You got Illusion here, back with my NPL Week 1 game. If you remember, about a month ago, I posted my draft analysis. Now, you get to see my Week 1 game, and I'm facing a pretty threatening opponent, Mr.Murkrow. If you don't know who he is, he's a very skilled battler, very good team builder. He's in the majors of the other NPL, so you already know he's a threat. I've watched his videos for a while. I know he's a really good player, which affected my prep. And he's got a really scary team. If you look at my team and you look at his, and then look at my team, look at Megalopunny, then look back at my team, you'll notice that my team gets absolutely dunked on by Megalopunny. Megalopunny is one of the scariest mons for my type of team. I really don't have a good switch into Megalopunny. And then he has threats like Landorus, which is a Z move user. And as you know, there's no switch into Z moves Landorus. He has things like Hydreigon, which are both defensively good versus my team and offensively good. Reuniclus is one of the scariest Pokemon in the game. He could bring a Calm Mindset. He could bring like an Acid Armor Calm Mindset. Really like a Cobra Berry. He could bring like a Regenerator set. It's just really scary overall. And down here, he didn't have certain Pokemon during our match, Porygon 2 and Moltres. I can't quite remember what he had here before, but it didn't matter. He didn't bring it, and I prepped for something else. So these two definitely weren't coming because they're different Pokemon, and he's very threatening team. So when I was building for Mr. Murk, so I kind of know Mr. Murk, right? I watch his videos. I know he's a very methodical and skilled team builder. If you remember, he used to do like 1 hour team builders where he did it live, and really, when he looks at your team, he looks at like all possible angles, so it's very hard to catch him off guard. So when I was building this team, I wasn't like I wanted to go for like a flexible setup, like a team that's like solid but doesn't have like, it's not, I don't have all my eggs in one basket. I don't have just like one win condition. I just like try to build a solid team where any of the mons could possibly win, and you know, throw in some defensive mons so I don't get 6-0'd. So let me go over my first Pokemon. I have the boy Mega Sharpedo, the King L5. Shout outs to him for inspiring me to use this. So at the time of when we battled, we both did not know I could use a speed boost to boost my speed. So that's why I don't have Protect. Neither of us prepped for Speed Boost Sharpedo, so there wasn't any problems. So just next time, like in my future weeks, I'll definitely be using Speed Boost Sharpedo to try and get some advantages. But for this game, I didn't know about it. So I have Ice Beam, Taunt, Crunch, Psychic Fang, just good coverage overall. This speed outspeeds his base 100s. One such Pokemon outspeeds Hydreigon, Landorus, Moltres, which he didn't have, so ignore that. I have a naive nature with no special attack and some bulk. Ice Beam OHKOs Landorus from full, unless he's like Assault Vest or Yachi Berry. Ice Beam also hits Hydreigon decently hard. Crunch, he doesn't really have a switch in the Crunch. His only real switch in is Skarmory, which takes like a fat 40%. And Taunt is really nice because I can stop Skarmory from roosting up. I can also stop things like Reuniclus from Calm Mining, or really Taunt is more utility versus Skarmory. Can stop it from hazard stacking. Can stop maybe Hydreigon from roosting, which would be nice in case he brings a defensive set. Could stop like a Yachi Landorus from defogging. Taunt was just good utility. Psychic Fang for Lopunny in case he ever wanted to switch that in. Psychic Fang was just decent coverage. It also hits Marini, which I didn't think he would bring, but Psychic Fang's pretty much is OP strong, so I just brought it. And that's why I have Sharpedo. It'll put in a lot of work. It really hurts his team, messes his team up. That's why I have it. Next Pokemon I have is a Rocky Helmet Komodo with Flamethrower, Drain Punch, Stuff Rock, Hidden Power, Ice, fully physically defensive. So Megalopunny, look at my team. Megalopunny with Ice Punch completely bodies everything. The only switch in I have the Megalopunny is this thing, and Gligar can switch in once, only once, if he has Ice Punch. So I have to bring this because otherwise Megalopunny will just completely destroy my soul. So I have to bring this. Hidden Power Ice for Landorus in case it tries to set up on me. Stealth Rock to get those rocks up. Drain Punch is just recovery against things like Mega Lopunny mostly. And Flamethrower is good for Skarmory and Whimsicott, in case you ever try to switch in those. So this is basically, its job is switch in on Lopunny, get the rocks up. And if I'm lucky, I get to kill Lopunny. Yeah, this is basically my only check to Lopunny, so I have to bring it. My only defensive bond that can take a return and a high jump kick. Next I have is Blast of Fellon. Got an interesting. I have Shadow Ball, Side Shock, Fire Blast, Hidden Power Ice. So I have a Life Orb, Blast of Fellon. So in mocks, this thing kept not doing that much because if you look at Mr.Murkrow's team, he doesn't have a good switch in to Blast of Fellon, but he has good pivots, right? So he could like switch in like Seismitoad to a Fire Blast, and then he could see if I'm or Seismitoad to Shadow Ball to see if I'm Scarf, then go into Adino and Wish Pass. So I was thinking, I really don't like being choice locked, so I just used the Life Orb. Life Orb makes it so I have almost all the power of Specs, and I'm also able to switch up my moves. Shadow Ball, Stab, Side Shock. I just have that in case he brings like Marini. I really didn't know what else to put here. There wasn't really anything to put here so I just put Side Shock here as a throwaway move in case. Fire Blast, you know, OP Stab, and then Hidden Power Ice. This hits both Landorus, OHKOs it, and it hits Hydreigon, which can possibly serve as a defensive check because it resists both of my stabs. So yeah, this thing, he has no switch in. If this ever comes in for free, something's dropping, period. Next I have Scarf Superior. So Blast of Fellon's not my Scarfer, so I have to put Superior as my Scarfer. Here's Mega Lopunny. I have to have a Scarfer versus Mega Lopunny. Nothing on my team outspeeds it naturally, so I have to have a Scarfer. And I think Superior fits the niche pretty well. If I weaken things like Skarmory and Whimsicott, this can just sweep through his team with Leaf Storm. Also nice, if Mega Lopunny, I think if it takes only like a couple hits from a Rocky Helmet from a Komodo, Leaf Storm kills. And he doesn't really have a switch into Leaf Storm, especially pre-trade where Moltres wasn't here, and neither was Porygon 2. So yeah, Scarf, Leaf Storm, sweep through his team. 90% accuracy is scary, but I have to deal with it. Dragon Pulse is for Hydreigon, in case he's like a Scarf Hydreigon and he's really low. I can just Dragon Pulse, pick that off. Hidden Power Fire is for Skarmory. It's also for Whimsicott. I'm not going to be clicking Dragon Pulse or Hidden Power Fire ever, but in case I get knocked off, that could be useful. Taunt is an emergency check versus something like Reuniclus, in case it's getting way out of hand. Alright, next I have one of my favorite Pokemon, Snorlax. So Snorlax is here because it's my best check to a lot of his special attackers. Things like Hydreigon, this is my only switch-in on my team. Things like Reuniclus, if he's like a Life Orb set, this is my only switch-in. Really, this is my only switch-in to a lot of things. And it kind of holds my team together versus his special attackers, so I have it here. If it gets knocked off, I'm in a lot of trouble versus his special attackers. After one curse, I tank a high jump kick from Mega Lopunny, which is nice, and I can KO it back. Ice Punch is for Landorus in case it tries to set up on me. I'm very scared of set up Landorus, so almost all of my team can hit it well, so to say. And Recycle to get that Figgy Berry. You know how it is. It's basically a slack off. And hopefully I can keep this alive to check his special attackers like Hydreigon and Reuniclus. This is also my emergency check to Calm Mind Reuniclus. He could be like Calm Mind, Side Shock, Focus Blast, Recover with a Cobra Berry. This is my emergency check to that. In case like Sharpedo goes down and Blast of Fellon can't switch in. This guy is like my last line of defense, or my first line of defense, so to say. Next, I have Gligar, Aqua Tail, Defog, Roost, Toxic. So this is my main Landorus switch in. He has to bring a Z move. I think. I don't think he can bring anything else. He could maybe bring defensive or Scarf, but then Gligar, it can't touch Gligar. So Aqua Tail is so I can hit Landorus, so it can't just set up on me for free. Defog to get those Hadgers off the field. Roost to heal. Toxic. So I had Toxic on here for a lot of reasons. I had it for Landorus. I had it for Hydreigon, especially. Hydreigon was a big one. Regenerator Uniclus, which I thought was a possibility. I might as well bring Toxic. I just like Toxic being able to hurt the things that Aqua Tail can't, especially Seismitoad. So yeah, that's the team I brought. One thing that I was kind of thinking about was bringing Azumarill, but I really didn't like the Seismitoad Skarmory combo, which kind of invalidates both of my stabs. I think he had Heliolisk, so I couldn't so Belly Drum. I didn't think I could bring Belly Drum safely, which kind of sucks. So yeah, that's a team of 6. Let's get into the game. Let me X these out. So let me start. So looking at the team matchup, I have my 6, and he brought basically what I thought he would bring, almost to the T of what I thought he would bring. I thought he would bring Lando, Hydreigon, Lopunny, Skarmory, Reuniclus, and then the 6th Pokemon was a wild card. It could have been Seismitoad, could have been Audino, could have been anything. But yeah, I basically lead Sharpedo, so I'm thinking he'll lead Landorus, Skarmory, or Lopunny. Landorus, I can just OHKO with an Ice Beam, and I can OHKO with an Ice Beam. Skarmory, I can taunt. Lopunny, I can go out into Komo-O and get my rocks up. But he just leads Whimsicott. Good lead on his part. I can't really stay in. I don't have a speed boost or protect, so this thing pretty much OHKOs me, and that would suck a lot. And I can't. Sharpedo does too much versus his team for me to stay in it and sack it right here. So I go into Snorlax. This thing, Snorlax beats any variant of Whimsicott, even Leech Seed, which would be annoying, but Snorlax would still beat it. So he U-turns. Yeah, he U-turns. He goes into Skarmory. My Snorlax can't really touch Skarmory. I can start cursing up, but it's gonna be pretty futile. He can just whirlwind me, and I don't want to stay in here. Is the big thing. So I go into Komo-O. So a possible play I could have done is gone into Blast of Fellon, but I didn't want him to go wild and just Brave Bird or do something weird. So I just go into Komo. I can get my rocks up. If he Brave Birds, he's gonna take a lot of recoil from the Rocky Helmet, and I can still get my rocks up. But he just goes for the spikes, you know. Spikes are gonna start racking up the damage on a lot of my Pokemon. Here I just get my rocks up. He goes into Reuniclus. So I'm thinking this is Calm Mind, right? Komo-O can't touch this Reuniclus no matter what kind of Reuniclus this is. Flamethrower and Hidden Power Ice bounce off, and so does Drain Punch. So I'm thinking if this is a Calm Mind and he starts Calm Minding, I need to go Snorlax. And Snorlax is, I just think it's my safest play because no matter what he does, he can't KO Snorlax. If he goes for like the Focus Blast or the Signal Beam, Snorlax will eat that up, and then I can start cursing up and force him to be on the back foot. So I just go Snorlax. But what he does is interesting. He goes for the knockoff. He knocks off my Figgy Berry, and now I'm kind of screwed because without the Figgy Berry, Snorlax is basically useless. It can only switch in once. It gets no recovery, no leftovers, no nothing. So Snorlax, he basically with this knockoff killed my Snorlax. This thing's only sack fodder now. It can't really do anything, which sucks pretty bad. So right here, since he shows a knockoff and I have Snorlax, there's no way he goes for the Focus Blast here. At least in my mind. The only Reuniclus that runs knockoff is Assault Vest. So I'm thinking he's Assault Vest. I think he never goes for Focus Blast here. So I might as well go to Sharpedo and start pressuring him. And I do go Sharpedo as he goes into Landorus. So this is a good matchup. Ice Beam KOs this from full. He might be Scarf, but I'm almost positive he isn't because Gligar would just really invalidate it. So I go Sharpedo. I just go for the Ice Beam here. It's the safest play. I Mega go for the Ice Beam. It does almost little to nothing, this Skarmory. And he shows the leftovers. I think this shows that he's Fizz Def Skarmory, which I thought he would bring because I have a lot of physical attackers. So right here, I just go for the taunt. So he can't roost, which is his best play. Now I can just go for a free crunch, and something's taking a fat hit. And the one that takes the fat hit is Whimsicott. As you can see, resisted hit does 40 to probably Fizz Death Whimsicott, which is nice. But now I have to switch out again from this Whimsicott. So I think he's going to go for the Moonblast. So his possible play is going for the Moonblast or U-turning. So my thought process is if he goes for the U-turn, I think my best switching is Blast of Fellon. If he goes for the U-turn, he only has one good switching to Blast of Fellon, which is a Lopunny or maybe Scarf Hydreigon. But I can switch out accordingly to those two. So I just go Blast of Fellon as he goes for the Moonblast. That was another possible. If he goes for the Moonblast, Blast of Fellon takes that easily, and now I'm in the driver's seat. So I have Blast of Fellon in, and now he has no switching to my boy Blast of Fellon. So I just go for the Hidden Power Ice in case he switches into Hydreigon, which can switch into a Shadow Ball. So I'm thinking Hydreigon is Scarfed at this point, and if he's gonna switch it in, take like 40 from a Shadow Ball, and then force me out. So I just go for the Hidden Power Ice because even if he stays in, Whimsicott falls over, and really Hidden Power Ice hits his entire team super well. Even Lopunny, Assault Vest Reuniclus takes nothing, but then what's Reuniclus doing back to Life Orb Blast of Fellon? So he switches out the Hydreigon like I predicted, and I go for the Hidden Power Ice, and I do a fuck ton of damage. I could blow this thing back, all the way back, but that like damage 61% reveals that he has a sort of defensive set, and I find my suspicions shown when he shows Leftovers. Leftovers Hydreigon probably as a switch into Blast of Fellon, and able to like switch into a lot of my team even superior. So now something's gotta die right here. He can keep in Hydreigon and sack it. Or he can go into another Mon, and I can send that to the Nether Realm. I go for the Fire Blast, which is risky, but I thought he would switch out, saving his Hydreigon, maybe to like Skarmory or back to Whimsicott, maybe even Lopunny, predicting the Shadow Ball or being able to lift the HP Ice. So I just go for the Fire Blast. I thought it was my safest play overall in case he did the switch out. And my chance of missing is very low. I get the crit. That crit did not matter. I calced it. Hydreigon falls over to a Fire Blast. And now this big threat is out of the way. Blast of Fellon's low, but it got rid of a really big threat. And I can always bring this back in on something like Reuniclus to start up the fun again. He brings in Lopunny. This thing's obviously going to send me packing if I stay in. So I go back to my designated counter, Komodo. He goes for the return, bounces off, get that Rocky Helmet chip. Now he's in range of Leaf Storm, I believe. Unless he has like a lot of bulk. So right here, I just go for the Flamethrower because I think he's going to switch in to Skarmory. He could possibly go Reuniclus. But with Reuniclus, I always have two possible switch-ins. If he goes Reuniclus here on my Flamethrower, I could always either go into Sharpedo or Blast of Fellon. And if Blast of Fellon comes in, something dies. Because he has to like be, has to go think between not Focus Blast or Shadow Ball or Knockoff. And either one of those moves would let Sharpedo and Blast of Fellon come in and kill him. So I was fine with letting Reuniclus come in here. So I just go for the Flamethrower in case he brings in Skarmory or even Whimsicott. And he does bring in Whimsicott. I think he was expecting the double from his video, but I just go for the safe play and Flamethrower. And now that Whimsicott's gone, that's very, very good. He sends in Landorus. So I'm kind of in a conundrum here because he could possibly set up. He could go for like a Rock Polish or a Swords Dance. Like I could go like Gligar, and then he could Swords Dance, No, he can go for Rock Polish here as I go Gligar. Then I can Toxic him as he goes Swords Dance. And then if he, he'll live an Aqua Tail, or, and he'll be able to, like, eat up, what am I trying to think of? He'll be able to eat up a Toxic damage too. And if I let him Rock Polish here, or set up here, he can at least kill like 3 to 4 of my Pokemon. And if 3 to 4 of my Pokemon go down, I lose to Lopunny. And so I'm thinking I can't afford to let this guy set up. And he just goes for the Supersonic Shock Strike. Komo falls over. That kills, like, gets blown to hell. Right? And now I can bring in my Sharpedo. So here I make a choke. What I should have done was just go for the Ice Beam and then taunt. And if he went Skarmory, I can just taunt afterwards. What I did here was like just a gross over, like a huge over prediction. I go for the Crunch. It does a lot, but it doesn't do enough. And Earthquake killed. So I lose my Sharpedo for no reason. Where if I just went for the Ice Beam, Landorus would have died. So that was kind of a choke on my part. But this allows me to bring in my Superior and get big Leaf Storm damage. I get the Leaf Storm. I get the +2. He gets he goes Ridiculous. It takes Rocks damage, showing that's Regenerator. It's probably Assault Vest, and I'm thinking that's why I have Leaf Storm. I'm thinking I live any hit, might as well hit a Leaf Storm. 2 of it kills it, and then I'm in the driver's seat. If he goes for Psychic, I think I just win here because I 2-hit KO this. And then Lopunny just dies afterwards to a +6 Leaf Storm. I go for the Leaf Storm. I completely forget he has knockoff, right? And he knocks off my Scarf. And I'm like, oh shit, what a choke. If he has Ice Punch Lopunny, he basically wins because I choked right there by letting him knock off my Scarf. What I should have done is gone Snorlax. I think that would have been the better play. And I could, eventually, Snorlax would die off, and I could just bring in Blast of Fellon right afterwards and get a kill. Instead, I let my Superior Scarf get knocked off, and now Lopunny outspeeds everything on my team, and this sucks really bad. I go for another Leaf Storm, almost kills Skarmory. He's basically sacking this off because Ridiculous is important. I go for the Hidden Power Fire. He goes to Lopunny here. I'm predicting like the Fake Out or just a return. He goes for the Fake Out. Now here, he had Power Up Punch, and in hindsight, this was very risky in case he had Power Punch, but I thought he was Ice Punch, because if I like if he went for like return there and brought my Snorlax super low and then Power Up Punch, I think I just lost the game, which sucks pretty bad. But luckily, he just goes for the Fake Out, going for the safe play because Return didn't kill Superior, and he doesn't have High Jump Kick, and just takes out my Snorlax. Now, I'm basically praying he doesn't have Ice Punch, because if he has Ice Punch, this game is over. My Gligar gets dropped. So he goes for the Power Punch, and I'm saying, yes, please. He doesn't have Ice Punch, so please, Return, don't do that much damage. Please let this Toxic land. I go for Toxic here, in case he's not Ice Punch, which he isn't. He goes for Toxic, and now I'm like, yes, I can roost up and stall this boy. Just to see how much he does. He goes for Return. It does no damage. I roost up, and I'm like, yes, I can stall it. So right here was kind of a choke. I go for the Aqua Tail. So what I was actually expecting is for him to go for Power Up Punch again, because after he saw that damage. And then I could Aqua Tail and then Roost again and basically beat him. But I think I should have just gone for the Roost to play it safe. Instead, I go for the Aqua Tail. Crits, that crit, I don't think it really mattered in the long run. But as you see here, I switch into Superior. He goes for the knockoff. That Aqua Tail put him in range of Leaf Storm. So basically, if I didn't get the Aqua Tail crit, he probably would have killed Superior and it would have helped his differential. But in the long run, it didn't matter. And maybe I probably would have had to kill him with Gligar or Blast of Fellon, and he maybe would have been able to get a Power Up Punch off another one in this situation, but I don't think it mattered in the long run. He goes for the turn here. He can't go for Power Punch because if I hit him with a Dragon Pulse, which I went for, he would have just died. So now I have Gligar. He can't beat me anymore. Even like +3 doesn't OHKO Gligar. He has to basically bank on a crit, which he's not, spoiler alert, he's not going to get. As you see, that +1 return is bouncing off. And I win this game versus a very, very tough opponent, Mr.Murkrow. I made a couple of chokes in this game. I definitely made some huge misplays, and if he was Ice Punch Low Punny, me letting my Superior get knocked off was a horrible, horrible misplay. So, luckily he didn't have Ice Punch, so I didn't choke that away. Letting my Shark go down to a over prediction was also a huge misplay. But I'm proud of my prep, and I'm pretty much proud of how I played, other than those two instances. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you for the next NPL Week 2.